Hello and welcome to this week's video. It's going to be a long-winded talking video because as you can see, it is answering your questions. For the first time ever, I have enough of a following that is consistently engaging with me that I felt like opening up to an Ask Me Anything. So for about 24 hours on all of my social medias, which is Instagram. On Instagram, I posted on my stories. On TikTok, I posted a video. You can't really comment nicely on stories on TikTok, so I did it as a post. And on YouTube, of course, it was a community post that was up for 24 hours. Thank you to everyone who asked questions. You really came through. I was really worried I was only going to get less than 2 responses and there wouldn't be enough questions to make a video. So thank you, thank you, thank you. If you didn't ask a question this time, maybe in a few months or in a year, I'll open up the floor to another one. We'll just have to wait and see how things play out, but we have some very good questions. I'm not going to delay it any longer. My laptop is here with my bullet point answers, and I am going to be drinking my tea throughout this video because there is a lot of talking. But today I am drinking some milk
Guangzhou
oolong. If I pronounced that horribly, I will insert a clip of Google saying it for me. This is one of my favorite teas. It is amazing. I think it is a young leaf tea. They take the young leaves and then they're steam dried over a vat of milk. The smell of it, it smells like warm milk, but it's not. It's a black, like, I don't have anything in this tea. It's just a black tea, but it smells like there's milk in it. Love this tea. My partner thinks it's weird. I love a weird tea. So if you see that my lips slowly get more of a disaster, that's just what happens when you wear glossy lips. In this first section, this is what I kind of called the get to know section. These are general questions about me that you wouldn't know unless you asked. Starting off easy, we're doing favorite film. The answer may surprise you. In fact, the answer is so obscure. From Pride Month, it was actually very popular for people to recommend their favorite gay movies. And my favorite movie was never mentioned, and I think it is the ultimate, like, bisexual movie out there. And that is the one and only Victor Victoria. I love this movie. My mom was the one who introduced me to this movie. She was like, I got a movie that I think you're gonna love. And you know what? I love it. It is one of my all-time favorite movies. I have to hold myself back when I'm at the family cottage from watching it all the time because I need to not watch it all the time. I have to broaden my horizons on what to do at the cottage. I love this movie. I cannot wait. I'm hoping I get to show my best friend this movie in the summer when we're all up at the cottage because I know she's gonna love that movie as well. I showed her a different movie that's gonna come up later and she loved that movie. Now, oh my god, if you loved that movie, just you wait. I love Victor Victoria. I genuinely don't know where you can find it. We have it on DVD, so I don't know if it's streamable. I'm assuming it's not because it is gay. The premises of Victor Victoria is a woman pretending to be a man, pretending to be a woman. It is drag. It is camp. It is so good. If you can find it, I highly recommend you watch Victor Victoria. Okay, moving on. My favorite book. Oh, I'm gonna be fiddling with some hair clips. I am not a big reader. Hands up, I'm not a big reader. I never have been. I find that I am so picky when it comes to book genres that can hold my attention. My favorite book is actually a series. It is The Secrets of the Immortal Nicholas Flamel. This is the first book in the series called The Alchemist. The actual book series is 5. I read this when I was a teenager. I think I was like 17 when I finished the book series. This was like life-changing. You can see that I tried to reread it at some point and didn't. other things happen. Life happens, it's okay. But I love this book series. It is a fantasy. I love it because it does bring up like historical figures, obviously Nicholas Flamel. And I think it is one of the easier fantasy novels to get into because it's not like you have to learn crazy made up languages and names. It is all like based on historical figures. Love it. Gods, goddesses, magic, mystery. It is a great book. It is a young adult. I don't know how much it is nowadays, but whenever I purchased this book, this was $9.99 Canadian. It's probably not $9.99 Canadian anymore, so if you can find it, highly recommend. Fantastic series. But right now I am reading a book that my mom gave to me because she really wants me to keep reading, and I was like, oh, like it's just, I'm so picky when it comes to my genres. She gave me Hot Property, which I have been reading, Mom. I have been reading and using my Coochie Copy sticker as my bookmark. This is what you would call a chick lit. This is British girly rom-com novel. That's my favorite genre. So she gave me this to borrow and read, and I've been reading it. It's a little funny because the main character is named Claire and it's spelt the same way my name is spelt, the right way. So it's a little funny to like read it and like have to read your name, but I've been really enjoying this one. This was a good question. Does your exterior appearance represent your essence? Philosophical. Look at that. I would say no. I very, very often always get that I look scarier than I am. And I'm actually a very, like, if you were to first meet me, I'm very, like, uncomfortable. I'm very bad at meeting people on first impression. But after, like, a second, third, fourth, fifth, I'm very open. I'm quite funny. I am self-proclaimed funny. But upon a first impression, if you were to just see me in the street, you would probably think that I'm like a B word because of my face, just how it rests. I'm not. I look a lot scarier than I actually am. I think a lot of people look scarier than they actually are. Yeah. This is another existential question. What movie got absorbed into your personality? Hey now. We got some big thinkers asking questions to me. I saw this question and I was like, man, I don't actually know if I have any particular movie that has changed who I am so dramatically. But in my family, we do constantly quote movies, like a lot. Like we will talk in movie quotes. So much so that when I met my partner Chia, who's not here and I'm pointing at nothing, there was like multiple movies that I had to have him watch so that he would understand conversations within my family because we quote media so much. One of the movies that we quote all the time, which I was referencing earlier, is Strictly Ballroom, which is also very camp movie. It used to be free on YouTube, but then the Australian movie, like National Movie Channel or something. They took it down and you can no longer watch the movie on YouTube for free, which sucks. Australia, please put the movie back on YouTube for free. If you can find it, I highly recommend watching it. There are so many quotes. There's so many quotes that my family and I say from that movie. The number one quote for me, at me, would be "Arms, Clarice." And you have to put your arms up. You won't understand unless you've watched the movie, but "Arms, Clarice." I guess that kind of counts as being absorbed into your personality because we do movie quotes all the time and that's, I guess, part of our personality. I think that counts. This is a two-parter and we'll get into it. What would you say to your younger self? That was the question. I replied back and I was like, how young are we talking? And upon clarification, we have preteen and 20, like 19, 20. This is to my younger self, to my preteen self. I'll be reading it because it's long. Don't worry, we are now well endowed, and you can stop crying in the shower because puberty didn't hit you yet. Literally, don't worry about it. It's gonna happen so suddenly and you're not gonna realize it. Another good one, you will eventually figure out your period, and you actually have technology help you with that. The advent of tracking apps is right about the time that you start your period and high school experience, and it will be life-changing. In fact, we use the same app to this day, and we now have over a decade of data going. Pretty cool. Oh yes, we do eventually become cool, but it takes a long time to get there. We weren't even cool in high school, okay? Don't worry about it. Don't stress about it at all. I don't really have to tell you that though, because we didn't really like the cool people anyways. I know you're not very boy crazy, but sometimes you think about it every now and then, but literally don't even worry about it. Just focus on you. Don't rush anything, boy, partner, anything. Don't rush it, because when you do rush it, you will regret it and it won't feel natural. Okay, that was to my preteen self. This is now for my around 19, 20-year-old self. So surprise, we actually do become a model and we get signed to an agency. However, you're gonna have to live with the fact that we can no longer be platinum blonde. Our skin goes through a dramatic change, which makes that no longer possible, but we're still beautiful, okay? We're still beautiful. We do also finally meet a normal man who is completely normal. They do exist. Shocker. College does not turn out the way that we hoped, but you do meet one of your lifelong friends, so that is a pretty good trade. Oh yeah, so there's going to be like a super chill, totally fine global lockdown. Sounds scary, I know. It kind of was scary. In fact, it was so scary, we kind of completely changed from it, but you will find inner peace. And you will find ways to coping mechanisms, but don't be too alarmed at the fact that our mental health has changed. Yeah, it has changed. And that's okay, because nothing stays the same in life. And that's what life is. Life is all about change. If you didn't change in life, well then you would still be a baby, wouldn't you? Think about that. Food for thought. Drinking tea with black lipstick, I'm telling you. This is like a drinking with a straw kind of lip. Surprisingly, I didn't have that many makeup questions, but the makeup questions I did get were good ones. So this is now a very brief interlude where we're going to talk about makeup. First question was, what is your favorite cool toned MAC lip product? They did specify it could be any product in MAC as long as it's for the lips. And I think it has to be my Graige lip liner. I've had Stone longer than I had Graige by like multiple months. This is my Stone lip liner now, and this is the Graige that I got only in, I think it was late September when I finally got Graige, and it's 1 inch away, which is like 2.5 centimeters away from catching up to where my Stone is. I use Graige all the time. That was a terrible swatch. That's Graige. And it's just such a nice, subtle shade compared to Stone, which is just a little bit deeper. Graige has some of like that cool ochre in it, which sounds like an oxymoron, I know. But there's something about adding Graige to a lip that cools it down in a way that isn't gothic in a sense. It's not like putting on Stone and it's like, ooh, you got like a purple gray lip going. Using Graige is like it's cool toned, but it's almost natural. I love Graige. Okay, I love this question. What do you carry in your purse for touch-ups? I am not a touch-up person. When I do my makeup, I'm not really, number one, I don't live a life where I'm outside of my house for like 12 hours on end. As of right now, that's not how my daily life goes. I'm sure if it was, this answer would be completely different. But as of right now, when I leave my house, in my purse is most of the time the lip combo I have on for the day. Also in my purse is a tinted Ulla Henriksen, the strawberry one, and the plain Ulla Henriksen, the like orangey citrus one. Those are always in. Those can go on top of literally any lip, it's fine. I also carry usually a 2 or 3 day old lip combo. When I mean carrying a lip combo, it's like I will carry a liner and a gloss, a tinted gloss, because a tinted gloss can fix anything. And I have like the Revlon, the Shiseido sticks, like any kind of tinted gloss can fix any look. It is always changing. I don't really have any lip product that's like this has to be in my makeup bag. That's not what I do, but I also always change my makeup. That I'm sure if I was someone who always wore specific items, I would have one in my purse, I would have one at my table. But again, my lips are always changing, so the lip products in my purse I do change quite religiously as well. And then if I'm going to a event, which I haven't gone to in a while actually, like a night out event, maybe I will take one of my puffs, these like reusable velour microfiber ones that come in like 25 packs. I'll take one of these, I'll put a little bit of powder in it, and then I'll fold it and fold it, and then this little triangle will go, you know, on the inside pouch, the skinniest pouch that they want you to put like lipstick in. That's where this will go so it doesn't fly open. And then I will bring along like a mini brush. That way when I'm on the go and I am feeling excessively shiny maybe, I will be able to unfold it and then use the powder. Does the powder get into my purse when I do this? A little, but I use translucent powder, so that's not a problem for me. If you use a tinted powder and you are someone who can see yourself selling your purse or donating it, maybe keep the powder in a little plastic baggie or find a better compact than just putting it in a fabric and taking it on the go. This person did have a part 2 to their question, which was favorite setting spray. Again, I'm not really a setting spray person. I don't really have the skin type that needs a like lock-in stay all day setting spray. I'm not out of the house for 8 hours like I was saying earlier. My skin is normal to dry. If anything, I need moisture. I do have this Maybelline Lasting Fix matte spray. I got this in PR last year. I enjoy it. I don't think it does anything exceptional with the length of wear, and it is my only like long-lasting type of setting spray I own, because I'm not the person to go out and buy these types of products. Because of the grunge vibe, I like it to look worn, sweaty, messy. It just adds to the look, in my opinion, when it gets that way. But I can see why you would ask this question. I just don't really have an answer that I think you're looking for. Okay, now we're getting into the good stuff. This is the career section. If you did not know, I am a model and actor in the city of Toronto / Canada / wherever a job takes me. Everyone who asked a question knows that. If you weren't aware, fun fact about me, I also model and act in my daily life. That's what these questions are asking. The first question I have is, do you prefer modeling or content creation? Fabulous question. Like, it's a hard toss up in the air for a solid answer. I love commercial acting. I've been doing a lot more commercial acting than modeling recently. And I like it because it's gonna sound so horrible. Acting is more mentally stimulating than modeling especially when it comes to commercials where you have to improv. You just have to use your brain more because everything matters in acting, where in modeling that's not really the case, and you most of the time doing commercial work they just want you to stand there and look pretty, which for a lot of my younger audience sounds like a dream, but when you do that for years and years and years, it's kind of draining to always have to do that, and you just crave something visual that you can do. One of my favorite shoots I actually got to do before I started growing out my hair. I love modeling when it's like editorial like this. I think that is where I thrive in the editorial world, because focusing solely on commercial and e-com, it's draining. It can get a little draining, but I do still love modeling and I love being in front of the camera. An obvious answer to this question is I like content creation more because, hello, I'm making this video now. It is very difficult to be everybody though. Like when you're on set and you have everyone doing their individual job, that's the beauty of it. And when you're doing the content creation, you're kind of stuck doing everything, and I hate editing. Editing is so grating to me. I'm really not good at it. I know I'm not very good at editing, and I'm trying to get better, and I'm trying to have the patience for it. I give myself more than a day to edit my YouTube videos, but some days are just torturous. I also find I get creative block quite a lot with content creation now, just with how much I post, but I try my best to push through or post things that I know people like doing my lip combos. But I think I like the content more because it feels more rewarding. When you're modeling and acting, you don't always get to see how it has affected somebody, hopefully in a positive way. But when you're doing the content creation and people are able to comment right away or save the video or like the video, maybe share depending on the platform, that's more, it's like more tangible. It's more like I can feel like I'm making something of value in my life compared to modeling and acting where you can't always see that. Okay, I need a big drink of tea because this next question is long. It's a long answer and I only got 43% left on my camera, and I don't know when this key light is gonna die. Because this is a long answer, I'm gonna try my best to just read what I wrote down, and I will flash photos on the screen of what I can find. The question is, how did you get into modeling / acting? Let me tell you. Okay, this is deep Claire Cuckoo lore, okay? You're getting an earful. I was actually told my whole life that I should be a model, especially when like puberty started to hit and like I kind of got prettier. I was like, oh, you should be a model, you should model, you should model. My grandma actually knew a fashion designer, Pat McDonough, and basically asked if she could train me to be a model. And Pat McDonough was honest and she was like, I don't always do this. We're gonna see what she looks like, basically. She liked how I looked, so at 15 and 16, she was training me on how to be a model, how to walk, how to pose. She had a very huge career. You can Google her on her own time. I still have some of her custom pieces from my grandma in my closet. Love Pat. She was such a character. So as part of the training, I was supposed to be signed to an agency. It was like a half guarantee that she had within this contract, but that didn't happen. We went to multiple agencies. I'm now like 16. We went to multiple agencies in the city of Toronto, which I'm not gonna name, and they all rejected me because at the time, this is like 2012, at the time in Toronto, agencies wanted older girls. They didn't want teenagers. They wanted the like 19-year-olds, not the 16-year-olds. And that's kind of how the industry works. It always flip-flops between wanting the super young and then the kind of older. So it was just at the time, everyone wanted the older and I was trying to get in super young. That's how the cookie crumbles. During that time, I also walked my first runway at Fat Toronto in 2012. It was very fun backstage and the energy, but it was also terrifying as well. And then after that, I kind of gave up on modeling, but still yearned for it. Oh my god, my camera is dropping so fast. I yearned for it. In grade 12, I had grade 12 history. I had a fantastic teacher, and he had us do a whatever you want project, basically. And it was, you had 2 weeks to do a project. He didn't care what the project was about. It just had to be something that you had a passion for. And kind of looking back on it as an adult, I can see the purpose of the project was to really just have students find their own passion, because in school you're forced to do what the teachers say and what the education system says, that you kind of don't find your passion. And this was a way to kind of show these kids who are looking into college and university maybe the pathway that you want to go instead. It was a great project, and my acquaintance in my class at the time was really into environmentalism and fashion, and she knew that I wanted to be a model. Damn it. I've opened my window now. This light driving me crazy. My acquaintance in my class knew that I wanted to be a model, and she basically approached me and asked me to model what she wanted to make. And we kind of teamed up in those 2 weeks to make her vision come true, which was called Trashin'. So the whole point of the project was to show human waste and what we could do with human waste if we really cared enough to try. I modeled everything in like an actual photo shoot that her dad shot, and I'll flash the photos up because why not? Things were made out of plastic, they were made out of old bedding, they were made out of newspaper. I helped a lot with that newspaper dress because we weren't sure if that thing was gonna get finished in time, and it was absolute torture. I had to get like duct taped all around, and then we had to Mod Podge my body to get the cast of it. It was a ordeal, and she was a genius for thinking of ways on how to do it. I genuinely don't know how or who got in contact with the Toronto Star, but the Toronto Star showed up to the final runway. We were able to swing an actual like runway to do the show, not like physical runway. We were like in the front in between these like trees, and we were walking through nature. Me and some other students that she was able to hook into being one of her models. It was really fun, and I'm actually, if you Google me, one of the photos that will come up will be my Toronto Star photo. I have a couple of the newspapers saved as well, and I need to figure out how I can preserve them because I don't want them to crumble too horribly. I would like to keep them forever if I could. Once we graduated, she followed this kind of environmental path in her life at that time. I'm not using names because I don't want to bother anyone. So I'm using a lot of she because I don't want to name names. So she got into environmentalism with this company within Toronto, and this company was able to take us around Canada for like Earth Day and Earth Week, so like the spring and the fall. And we went to the Chinook Mall in Calgary. Shout out Calgary. We went to Polo Park Mall in Winnipeg. Shout out Winnipeg. And we did, I think, a couple rounds within the downtown core at Commerce Court. We did one that was like more towards the Metro Toronto Convention Center in the physical circle of Commerce Court before it all went under construction. And then this is getting into modeling. So after that, she was going to the University of Waterloo, which is a very environmental school, and she kind of pitched to the university to do this Trashin' show and to get more artists involved in this cause. And there was a student director for it, and he was fantastic. Genuinely, I don't know how he was able to pull off as much as he did with the amount of time and money that was given. I did it for 2 years. The first year I modeled her collection, the original collection, and then the second year I modeled a different student's collection, which was so fun, a fun time in my life. And unfortunately, the ball didn't keep rolling after everyone kind of graduated out of the school, so the actual Trashin' show no longer exists, but the memory is with us forever, all of us involved in it. who might be watching this, we know, we remember. So after that, I kind of was like, well, if I can't be in front of the camera, maybe I can be behind the camera. I actually went to college for fashion, business, and management. And in my second year, in my final semester, I got a DM from my agency that I'm with now, and they scouted me through Instagram, and I used my trash and photos as my portfolio of like, I can at least get better at taking pictures, but I'm not bad at getting my photo taken. And they signed me, and I've been with them ever since. Yeah, here we are today. That's how I got into it. Within the agency, there's kind of multiple agents that help everybody, and there's one specific agent who kind of has all the connection within the acting space in Toronto. So she's the one who connects me to the castings. I think something very important to disclose, because I'm assuming you're asking me because you want to get into modeling. Never do photo shoots at someone's house. Very dangerous. Never do it, no matter what they say, no matter who they are. You don't have to be signed to an agency. You can be solo. It's just a lot of work, but I have met many successful models who are in charge of their own job and their own bookings, and no agency will make you pay for anything. There's no like $500 payment just to apply to an agency. Applying to an agency is free, okay? Don't get scammed. Don't be silly. Use Reddit to your advantage. Be safe. And that is my long-winded lore of how I got into basically my agency in modeling now. Very big, very long, and a lot of garbage. More garbage than you would think. This last question is a classic, and it was kind of asked in relation to how did you get into modeling. This was a part 2 within the same sentence. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? A classic for an Ask Me Anything. And I feel like because this was asked in like the same sentence as how did you get into modeling, I feel like you mean, do I see myself modeling in 10 years? And honestly, I have to say no. I don't see myself modeling in 10 years. The commercial side of modeling is very open to all ages. The actual like fashion runway side kind of isn't unless you're a celebrity. So I don't see myself modeling in 10 years time. I would be 38 turning 39 in 10 years. I'm 28 now. I turned 29 in the fall. So I don't see myself modeling in 10 years. And I feel like the actual career options are pretty open for me. I have my own ideas on careers in my mind, which I just fixed my lipstick. Hold on. Yeah, I was gonna say that I feel like my career world is pretty open. I have my own ideas on career options in my life, which I'm not gonna share. Those are under lock and key. And I know in life, it can kind of feel like if you don't have a career by 25, your life is over and you're not as up to date as everyone around you. My own partner started a new career in a completely different world, and I feel like if he can do it, I can do it too. And I don't have to have career life super duper figured out by now. And I feel like more people should know that a lot of people change careers in their 30s and it isn't as life altering as society kind of makes it seem. And that is all of the questions that you guys asked me. Yes, I know my light died again in this video. Me and this light have serious beef. I knew it was going to die on me. Deep down, I just knew, because of course it does. If you need something to not happen, that automatically means it's gonna happen. But we got through most of the video before I had to switch the lighting. Hopefully it didn't go too horribly in my editing process. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got to get to know me on a more personal level than just talking about makeup and little flashpoints in my life. I hope you stuck through to the end. I know the lore behind my modeling was kind of long-winded and long, but I hope it was entertaining and fun to get to know me. Yeah, if you liked this video, give it a like. I won't know that you liked it if you don't click the little thumb. While you're down there, you can hit subscribe. That way I can pop up in your feed more often. You can also follow me on TikTok and Instagram. Both are Claire Cuckoo as well. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!